Christopher. Hello, hey, hi. So, I got a computer from a buddy of mine like a month or so ago, 2 months ago, doesn't matter. And it had an i5 2400 in it, and I couldn't fucking use it with anything. I didn't have any motherboards that would work, so I went on Newegg and I found this little guy. It was on sale for it's actually the same price that I bought it for. Oh, on sale. It's on sale again. What the fuck, Newegg? So the motherboard's normally $149.99. It's 150 bucks. I paid, in what it's on sale for right now, $64.99, so 65 bucks. And it's not anything fancy. It's a micro ATX or M ATX board. So I mean, like, I have like barely any fan headers, like shit none. So as far as I/O goes, it's not exactly a whole lot on the board. I have one SATA 3 port, and then I have the rest all SATA 2. At any rate, board-wise, there's some weird stuff that IDA64 does when I'm trying to do temperatures. When I first installed everything, it wasn't reading the temps right. An update or two later, it worked. Everything was reading fine. So I don't know if it was just user error or if it just wasn't picking up on the fucking... I don't know. I don't know what it was or wasn't doing. But at any rate, it works and it reads the temperatures fine. I had to sort of Frankenstein a couple different fans together. So I had two CPU coolers, one with a really big heat sink with a really tiny fan, and then another one with a really tiny heat sink and a really big fan. So I had to swap those out, so I have a really big heat sink with a really big fan inside of, hold on. Okay, so this is what I like to call BlackTwink. I got the name idea from my brother. So my brother was playing Sleeping Dogs and Half-Life at the time. So his computer's Plex server is named Asian Crowbar. So Sleeping Dogs, Asian, and then Crowbar, Gordon Freeman, Half-Life, so Asian Crowbar. This computer at the time, I was playing a lot of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Fucking great game. Love it. It's like my third time playing it. It's awesome. And I was also playing a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout mode. So this fucking BlackTwink. Anyways, this thing's not exactly the most fanciest computer in the world, but I have it plugged up to a CRT monitor, which is 1024 by 768. And at that resolution, I get a fine 75 hertz, because that's the maximum that it can go to at that resolution. I can do 85 hertz, but the screen, I don't know if it's the monitor's old or if it's just the way a CRT runs. I'm not familiar with it enough, but it just do 75. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm more than 60, so PC Master Race. Pretty fucking simple. Pretty easy to fucking see what I got in here. I mean, it's basic as shit, is what it is. As we can see, we have a GTX 560 2GB EVGA, and there's that heatsink I was talking about. A simple little 450 EVGA power supply that I got offline probably like 2 years ago now. An optical drive that ripped out of another computer. A simple 500 gigabytes, which again came from one of the other computers, and then an SSD I bought offline. If I'm not mistaken, it should be a silicon power, like a 256 or something like that. They're like 30 bucks, pretty easy to get offline. The heatsink, as you can see, not exactly perfect, but I mean, it does do the job. It works. Again, this is sort of like a, I don't know, I would just sort of seeing if the board works, so I just threw everything together, just seeing, hey, will it work? And so far it works, and I've done small little things to it, but for the most part though, there's like zero cable management inside this case, which kind of sucks. So the case I actually picked up from a Goodwill. It was like 15 bucks with a 450 power supply, which I threw in another computer. The USBs in the front are just 2.0. It's pretty fucking old, to be honest with you. Now the I/O we can see on the back of here is pretty basic. We have a pair of PS2 ports, HDMI, VGA, two USB 2.0s, and RJ45 jack or Ethernet. We have two USB 3.0s and a really simple standard selection of audio. I mean, you have a mic, sound out. I mean, like, it's, as long as you have at least sound out, I think you're fine. This is, in fact, that computer, and pardon the CRT flickering. That's not exactly the prettiest thing to look at. I'm sorry. Looks a lot better in person, I swear. But yeah, this is like a 2003 Dell CRT, 2004, 2003, something like that. It's old as shit, but it works pretty well for at least this test purpose. I'm using a VGA to DVI adapter because the GTX 560 only has a DVI, and a mini HDMI, micro HDMI. I think it's mini HDMI. But I mean, Steam works. Game-wise, obviously anything from from when this card came out, which was 2011, pretty okay. The GTX 560 2GB model came out in 2011, and the i5 2400 came out in 2011 as well. So as far as compatibility goes with games that came out around that time or before, it's pretty banging. Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's a pretty simple, cheap board. Like, it's, I mean, it definitely works though. Like, it's got 2 RAM slots, which for me, I ripped out of 2 other computers. One's like 1333, and the other one is lower than that. But for the most part though, works fine. So 4 and 4, I got 8 gigabytes. I only got 2 slots anyways. So when I saw this, I was like pretty fucking scared. I was like, I don't think this thing's gonna work at all, let alone even post. But I mean, I put the CPU in, put the RAM in. I didn't even put a CPU cooler on it. I just turned it on and it worked. I got somewhere. So I was like, cool. So I fitted everything out with the regular stuff, installed Windows 7, and it's been like a retro gaming computer kind of ever since. It's just been sort of, just there, you know. But it works. It does its job. So yeah, a fun story fact about the 560 that's in this computer. That was actually my first video card that I ever bought with my dad. We put it in one of those Asus Essentio. It's one of the real big ones that are like slanted weird with like the glowy Asus logo in the front. i5 650. I mean, at the time it was like, wow, crazy, you know, like even the Intel HD graphics blew us away at the time. But for the most part though, right now that computer kind of sucks balls. But it's okay though. It's old and it did its job, you know. So yeah, I think I'm rambling at this point, but for the most part though, yeah, Jingsha Sharky Jing Shark, the Blue Shark motherboard from some fucking Chinese company. It fucking works, dude. So if you need a motherboard that's cheap and shit, I don't know, fucking, it works. Fuck. Please don't go away. I'm ready.